Hey, welcome to Yoga Mat. We're going to interrupt our busy lives with the practice of some mindful movement. Yoga asana. Fitten up our fabs, maximize our mojo. Welcome to the practice. Hope it's refreshing for you. So sitting where you are, close your eyes. Relax your eyeballs. Scan your face and your forehead. Draw attention to your breath. Relax your jaw. Set your intent for the next 45 minutes. Maybe make a wish. Try and keep your attention as much as possible within the room, within your body, on your breathing. And savor the movement. Namaste. Let's come up to the front of the mat with your hands wide, fingertips touching the front of the mat and just off the side of the mat. Broad plank position. So my hands are wider than my shoulders for maximum power. The eyes of my elbows are facing each other. The creases of my wrists are parallel to the front of the mat. I'm not going to hurt my wrists. The soles of my feet are as far away from my shoulders as possible. Breathing through the nose. Like a preparation for press up, but even planking is plenty power. Look underneath your body. Look at your toes. Lift your hips and pull them back. Putting your hips as far towards your heels as possible. Stretching your torso. Now focus on your thighs. Can you press the thighs back into the back of the hamstrings? Lift your ribs a little bit and pull back even further. Lift your heels so that you're on high tiptoes. Lower your knees to the ground, flip over onto the tops of your feet. Press your chest forward, pulling your shoulders back. Your knees and thighs are still on the ground at this point. Chest presses forward like a proud pigeon, shoulders pull back. Lift out of the torso a little bit like a lizard on a rock. That's an animal imitation here. Okay, knees wide apart, toes are touching. Come onto your fingertips and then pull your hips back and press down. Your coccyx and your pubic bone, press it towards the ground, pulling it back. You use the power of the in-breath to really drive that tail section of your torso down towards the ground, stretching the back of the spine. Maybe you can feel an opening in the front of the pubic area. Okay, you're on forearms now. The forearms are parallel, forearm planking, similar to before. Unusual position. You might find some new space happening in vertebra. Now that you're not fully weighted down on it like standing position. Okay. Lower the hips and the thighs. Keep your shoulders lifting. Slide your hands back beneath the elbows and then lift and pull your shoulders back. Your torso is lifting, your hips are on the ground. Cobra position, quite a radical back bend for so early in the practice. Take it easy. Okay, knees wide apart, toes touching. Sink back to child's pose again. Okay, up onto all fours now. Hands are broad, shoulders are pressing forward, hips are pulling back. Keeping that, straighten your legs. Downward dog again. If you can, increase the distance of your dog, so move your hands forward or step your feet back. Your feet are hip width apart, your hands are broader than shoulder width apart. Make it a little bit more tricky. Left hand, the palm rests on your lower back. Keep the symmetry with a one-armed dog. Right arm's doing all the work. Try and keep your hips as symmetrical as possible. Gracefully switch sides. Right palm on your lower back. Both hands, step your feet together now. You're on high tiptoes. Actually, you might want to drop the heels for a little bit more stability. Repeat it again. Left palm on your lower back. One arm downward dog. With feet together. Switch sides. introducing an element of balance. Okay, both arms down. Introducing an element of balance. Step back to plank. Balance sometimes makes you get into the deeper, more subtle muscles, just balancing around a particularly new, unfamiliar balance spot. Okay, knees down, flip over to the tops of the feet. Now lift the thighs off the ground. Thighs are pressing up, shoulders are pulling back, chest pressing forward. Knees wide apart, child's pose. You're on your fingertips. The reason we come onto our fingertips is so our elbows can lift, giving us freedom in the upper back, behind, letting the shoulders and scapula get some movement and stretch there, in the back of the upper back. Keeping the knees wide apart, come up onto all fours. Your toes are still touching. Right arm out to the side. Now keep your shoulders as high as you can. Slide that right hand. Ooh, my phone's running out of battery. Just stay with your arm there. Interrupt and make sure this phone is charging. I have to flip away from Facebook briefly, I think. Let's make sure that we've got some charge. I'm coming back. It says it's charging. Cool. Okay, we were on all fours. Right arm was out to the side. I'm keeping it off the mat and I'm trying to stretch over to that side underneath. It's a strange maneuver. Keeping the shoulders high. Arm out to the front now, stretching forward. Out to the side again. Elbows bent and then rotate that whole structure down so that the upper arm lowers to the mat. Lower the arm straight out to the side, palm facing up, and you're on the fingertips of the supporting hand. Now look back. Hips are pulling back. Sway your hips from side to side. Hips are pulling back in this upper chest twist. If you want to take it a bit deeper, that supporting hand goes up. Now visualize a giant cube. Slide your hands as far down the sides of the cube as possible. Make space up in the shoulder area for the corners of the cube. Take it even deeper. Wrap the top hand behind your back. Grab that opposite thigh and use that to crank that shoulder open. Looking up at the sky. Nice upper chest twister. Sway the hips from side to side. Feel and explore. Okay, let's slowly untwist. Come out all the way. Back up to all fours. Other side. Left arm out to the side. You wrap it underneath your body, keeping your shoulders high. Stretch over as far as you can to that side. Left arm stretches forward, out to the side, and then bend the elbow and rotate the structure all the way down. Upper arm down, palm faces up, supporting hand lifts, and I'm hugging the cube. Again, explore. Raise and lower your hips, pull your ribs, pull your hips side to side. If you want to take it deeper, wrap that top hand behind your back, grab the left thigh, pull that right shoulder open, looking at the sky. Release, untwist, all the way back up. Fingertips on the side of the mat. Slowly lower the chest and chin to the ground. 1 or 2 breaths down here. And then walk your feet back until you're flat on the ground. Arms forward, fingertips are supporting you. I'm on my toes now, knees are off the ground. I'm keeping my legs straight, lifting the right leg. Heel leads. The heel is the highest point and I'm stretching the heel back. Trying to get the heel as far away from my fingertips as possible. Okay, switch sides. Left leg up, keeping the legs straight. Visualize the thigh lifting, stretching back to the heel. Other side, left leg up. Switch sides again. Right leg up. Both legs down, arms out to the side now. We're lifting. There's a bit of rock, like as if you're gliding. Left arm forward, right arm back. Maybe look to the floor so you lengthen the back of your neck. Switch sides, right arm forward, left arm back. Switch sides again. Last time, switch sides. Okay, fingertips forward, knees wide apart, toes are touching, lift the knees off the ground. Keep your neck relaxed so that you're gazing at the floor, not locked in your neck. Knees are off the ground, toes are touching, not for much longer. Release. Interlace your hands behind your back. Drive the hands back, pulling the shoulders up. Release. Palm the fingers interlaced or on top of each other. Rest your forehead on the top of the head. Wiggle your hips from side to side. Okay, bend the knees, keep the knees together. Reach back and grab your ankles. Now using the strength of your legs, drive the shins back. Allow the shins to pull your shoulders back. Stay there as you activate, really vigorously driving those shins back. Breathe into the upper back bend. Release. Hands on the side of the mat. Press yourself up to all fours. Straighten your legs to downward dog. And then slowly walk up the center line of the mat. All the way to the top. When you get to the top, your knees can remain bent. Hands on your hips. And that become nice floor-based routine to start. We're standing at the top of the mat, mountain pose, Tadasana. Feet are together. Picture your feet as broad implements, spreading and rooting down into the ground like tap roots. Arms reaching up, like two pillars of strength from the hips through to the shoulders, all the way to the fingertips, knees bent. Don't let your chest bow out too much. Try and pull your ribs back so that your entire torso is above the hips. We're in a prayer now. Fingers are spread broad. Forearms are a nice straight line. Lower the prayer to your knees. Gazing into the floor in front of you, lengthening out the back of the spine. You can feel your sitting bones broadening. Okay, fingertips down on the front of the mat alongside your feet. Curtsy that left knee down so that the left shin is on the ground. You're on the top of the left foot behind you. It's a strange pose. It's out to the side. There's not much balance here. This is a balancing challenge pose. So you're reaching down with the front foot and the back shin, stretching hands up. Stretch as high as you can. You're in a prayer now. And then twist that left elbow to the right knee. Vigorously press the hands into each other. Use that traction to lift the torso and twist against the knee. Use the traction of the elbow to twist. And pulling the hips back, you're lengthening to the top of the head. Release. Hands down. Step your feet together. And then curtsy the left knee down behind the right ankle. Balance on your foot and the shin. Arms reaching up. Stretching as high as you can. Remember, mouth closed the entire practice. We're breathing through our nose. Going to prayer. You're rooting down firmly into the ground. Right elbow to the left knee. Use the traction of the elbow against the knee to twist. Release. Fingertips down, feet together. Bend the knees, reach forward with arms. Hands on the hips. Up you come. Nice. Okay, tree pose. We're standing, feet are together. Lift the sole of the right foot up on the inside of the left thigh as high as you can get it. The heel is forward and the knee is pulling back. You're balancing on the standing leg, driving down into that standing leg, rooting up like a tree, stretching up. Really drive down into that standing foot. Activate up so the hips are moving up. Find a spot in front of you and gaze onto that spot. Tune everything else out. Lengthen and soften your breathing.
Release. Balancing poses are a great way to change the rhythm. Captivates your attention or not. Don't get the heel far up and forward. Driving down into the standing leg. Lifted leg is pulling back. Arms are out to the side for balance or up for tallness. Feel the lift in the hips. Keep the neck relaxed. Focus on the spot and tune everything else out. Release. Nice. Front to the mat. Feet together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pull your hips back with a flat spine. Lower your fingertips to the ground. Step your left foot back big distance and drop the knee to the ground. The hips are now pressing towards that front heel, reaching the arms up. Imagine there's a giant circle, a moon resting on the back leg. You're reaching back, getting stretched over the back of the moon. Hands down, switch sides. Step forward, feet are together. Right leg, knee down. Hips pressing forward to the heel. Arms reaching up and reaching back. Hands down. Step forward. Switch sides. Left foot back, big distance. Now the front knee is directly over the ankle. The back foot's as far back as you can get it. And actually you're stretching from the knee to that back foot. You're getting stretched through the hip structure. That's the action. Feels pretty good. Now focus on the hips and lift them and pull them back. Both hips are pulling back. You're pressing into the backs of both thighs as the hips pull back. Shoulders pressing forward. Bend the front knee again, deeply, so it's like knee over the ankle, stretching back to that back foot. Keep your breath going through the nose. Lift the hips, pulling them back. Both thighs are pressing back. Okay, now drop that back heel to the ground and lift that front left arm up. Side angle pose, triangle pose, coming in from the bottom. Trikonasana, stretch from hand to hand. Hips are pulling back. Bend the front knee. Now we're in full side angle pose. Very deep cathartic pose. Stretching the arm over as an extension of the leg and the torso. Okay, hands down, switch sides, step forward, feet are together. Right foot back, big distance. We're in a front lunge. Front knee is over the front ankle. Back foot's as far back as you can get it. Increase the distance between the knee and the sole of the foot. Now visualize the hips pulling back and lifting, driving both thighs back, pressing the shoulders forward. Bend the front knee deeply again. Stretch back to the foot, stretch back to the back foot. Once more, lift the hips. Pulling the back, pressing into the backs of both thighs. Now drop the back heel, right arm lifts up, stretching from fingertip to fingertip. Hips are lifting. Bend the front knee deeply, side angle pose. Reach that arm over as an extension of the line of the limb and the torso. Top hand down, step forward, bend the knees, reach forward with the arms. Hands on the hips. Up we come. Quick check in. Yeah, boy. Okay, feet are together. Step the left foot back big distance. At least a leg length distance. Hands on the hips. The front foot's parallel to the side of the mat, back foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Bend the back knee. And the knee bends in the same line as the foot. Front foot straight. Straighten the back leg, bend the front knee. Arms are parallel to the mat now. You might want to slide that back foot further back. This front knee is over the ankle and the back foot's as far back as you can get it.
Imagine someone's pulling on that back hand, pulling your shoulders so that they are over your hips. Shoulders should be over the hips, not in front of them. Arms up. Keep stretching up. Let the front elbow touch the front knee. Look up, stretch up. Hips are lifting. Everything's lifting. Okay, now both your palms are touching in a prayer, a front side prayer. Now we're going to switch to the other elbow. We're going to lift and rotate over, left elbow to the right knee. Stretch from the back heel all the way to the top of your head. Dig the elbow into the knee and use it as traction to twist, lengthen, press back into that back heel. Okay, one smooth movement. We're going to lift and untwist and then step forward. Great. Other side for symmetry. Step your right foot back, big distance, at least a leg length. Well, at most a leg length as well. Specifically a leg length. Okay, so the front foot's parallel to the side of the mat, back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Hands on the hips, bend the back knee, parallel to the back of the mat. Both legs are straight, bend the front knee. Arms are parallel to the mat. Remember, pull on the back hands as your shoulders are above your hips. Arms up, stretching up. Lower the hips deeper. Keep reaching up with the hands and let the front elbow touch the front knee. Stretch up at the back, look up. Bring your palms of your hands together so we're in a front side prayer. That left elbow's on the right knee, right elbow, left elbow. I'm not even going to try and mirror this. We're going to lift up and rotate to the other side. Right elbow is on the left knee now. Drive that back foot back. Lift in the shoulders and the torso while you twist. One smooth move. We're going to lift and untwist. Step back to mountain pose. There's a mad cat meowing outside, looking for food. Feet are together. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale up. Exhale, pull the hips back into a forward bend. Bend the knees and spring back to plank. Keeping your elbows alongside the body. Press down to a press up. And then press up. Flip out onto the tops of the feet. Upward dog. Thighs are off the ground. Shoulders are pulling back. Back onto all fours. Shoulders press forward. Tuck your toes, straighten your legs. Downward dog. Sway your hips from side to side. Generate maximum length. Raise and lower your shoulders. See if you can generate extra length that way. Come up to high tiptoes. Bend the knees and jump forward. Bend the knees and reach forward. Hands on your hips. Up you come. Excuse me. Back in 30 seconds. 20 seconds. Right, got to keep those nostrils clear. Inhale up. Exhale, forward bend. Bend the knees, spring back to plank. Press down. Upward dog. Downward dog. 5 long breaths. Link the stretch to the inhale. Raise the heels, bend the knees, inhale, jump forward. Bend the knees, reach forward with the arms. Hands on your hips. Up you come. Knees bent, arms up. Hands down alongside the heels. Step your left foot back, big distance, and the foot is now flat on the floor. The back foot is kind of at 45 degrees. The front knee is over the ankle. Raise the arms up. Keep driving that back thigh back. Upper arms behind your ears. Prayer.
Lean forward so your torso is an extension of the back leg. Hands down alongside. Step the back foot forward, and then other side. Right foot back. The sole of the back foot is back, flat on the ground. Front knee is over the ankle. Arms up. Warrior. Hips are facing the front in this pose. Prayer. Lean forward so your torso is an extension of the back leg. Hands down. Step back to plank. Press down. Upward dog. Downward dog. Raise your heels. Bend your knees. Jump forward. Bend your knees and reach forward. Inhale up. Okay, let's invert ourselves against the wall. So, find yourself a mat width of wall which you can use as support to go upside down. I'm going to start off in reverse. It's less daunting. I'm on all fours, my hands are quite broad, and you walk your feet up the wall. There we go. Keep your hands broad for stability. Bring your feet together when they're off the wall, and to make it a bit more challenging, lift one leg off the wall and really stretch up into the heel of that lifted leg. Don't flip off the wall, stay connected. Switch sides. Other foot is off the wall and you stretch up into the heel specifically. Okay, walk all the way down. Child's pose. Recovery. Okay, come up. Either do the same thing again or flip over to the other side. Now, my fingertips are 30 centimeters from the wall. So that's enough lean when you're upside down. Straighten your legs so that you into a downward dog. Walk as close to your hands as possible. We're trying to get our hips over our hands towards the wall. That's where they're going to go if you're going to handstand, and then your legs are going to come up. So using straight legs, one at a time, try and do that leg lifting motion, and also the hip towards the wall, and then let it go. Let it go all the way up. Use the wall for support. Now stretch up into the heels. Make it more interesting. Bend one knee. And if you can, then straighten that lifted leg out. Bend the knee and back up so both legs are up the wall. Stay stretching up the wall with the soles of both feet, or to make it more interesting, bend the other knee. Either stay there or straighten the leg out, bend the knee, reaching up. If you're enjoying this, play one more time. So many ways to hinge and move, down to release. Okay, final maneuvers. Flipping over into our back for some back bends. Palms of the feet are up the bum. Hands are reaching up above you. Using the strength of the legs, lift the hips up. Arms reaching above your head. Arms up. Release. Hands above your head now on the mat. Fingers are facing towards the body. Try and keep the elbows towards each other, not splaying out too wide. Use the strength of the legs to lift the hips. When you're ready, flip over onto the top of the head. Then broaden the grip of your hands. Now stay here. Drive the belly button and chest upwards, using the strength of your spine. Really open up that back bend.
This is plenty deep enough. If you like to take it deeper, you can lift your torso up to the full wheel. Come on. And then slowly lower yourself down to the ground. Arms are out to the side. Legs are straight out in front of you. I'm just going to rotate a little bit so you can see what's going on. Bend your right knee and hook the toes behind your left knee. Right hand on the left knee. Left arm is out to the side, palm facing up. Now root down the straight leg, like drive down into the heel of the straight leg, so you're primarily lengthening your body. On top of that, add a twist by pulling that knee down to the ground. Drive down into the straight leg and then twist, gazing over at the outstretched hand on the opposite side. Can you feel that opening happening in the back of the sacroiliac joint? Release. Both legs are straight out in front of you. Bend the right knee, hook the toes behind the left knee. Left hand on the right knee. Right arm out to the side, you're gazing out to the right. Drive down into that extended leg's heel. Pull the right knee over to the left. Gazing over the outstretched hand, palm is facing up. Release. Roll it onto the mat, onto the side, all the way up. Final twist. We're sitting. Right knee's bent. Left foot is hooked over just in front of the knee. Pull this knee towards you. Raise the opposite arm. Hook this elbow in front of the knee. Backhand behind you on the fingertips to support yourself. Palm is facing the front. Now drive the sitting bones down, lift up, and then twist. Bringing out your body from your sitting bones to your shoulders. Lift on the inhale, twist on the exhale. If you want to take it deeper, dive this hand down underneath the gap in front of the knee and then reach behind you. Right hand holds the left wrist point. That's a bind. Now lift and deepen that twist. You'll feel the opening happening far deeper in the lower spine. Okay, other side. Unbind. Left knee's bent. Right foot is hooked over the knee. Left arm up. Press that knee towards your body. Hook the elbow in front of the knee. Palm facing the front. Support yourself behind you with your fingertips. Rooting down into sitting bones, stretching up to the top of the head. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Take it deeper, dive underneath. It's a strange one. Left hand reaches behind and grabs your right wrist point. Lift up and twist. Release. Hip closure. Right knee is bent. Left knee is bent over on top. My knees are stacked on top of each other. Doesn't matter if they are apart, but try and get the axes, vertical axes on top of each other. Feet are splayed equally out to the side. Doesn't matter about the angles, as long as it's symmetrical. Wiggle yourself. You'll feel some compression and closure in the hips already. Maybe you want to lift up. We're in a prayer, leaning forward, elbows touch the ground. Inhale up. That will generate some extra compression. Flip sides, one smooth movement. Knees are stacked vertically
We're stretching up, we're rooting down with the hips. We're in a prayer, elbows down. Inhale up, release. Okay, that was Yoga Asana. Sit for a moment. It's nice to raise your height slightly, either on a pile of books or roll your mat up behind you, just to elevate yourself slightly. We don't want any slouching in the lower back. We want to be tilted slightly forward, leaning into our meditation, and really just savoring the sit, the stillness, doing less. Can you witness the full extent of every breath? Scan your face and your jaw, the eyeballs, forehead. Actively relax. Try and infuse a sense of contentment into the current situation. We give ourselves just a bit of time, perhaps for our thoughts to settle a bit. If you can feel yourself changing topic, try and bring your attention back to the breath and just to witnessing. Without formulating any opinion, can you just witness for a minute or two what's happening around you, within you? Namaste. Can we infuse the witness in our daily lives? I hope you're feeling refreshed, sleep well, and look forward to seeing you again next week. Namaste. Cheers.